Okay, so good morning, students. Let me introduce myself first. I am Miss Giselle Peroso, but you can just call me Ma'am Michelle anyway. And for this morning, I will be your science teacher. So to start our class, I want Hazel to please lead the prayer. Please, I will the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay, so the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So before you take your seats, I want you to please pick up pieces of papers or trash under your chairs or on the floor if there's any. Make your rows straight and have your chairs properly aligned. Okay, so thank you. You may now take your seats. And for your attendance, please say present if your name is called. Violet Prince. And we are done. So, I am glad that only a few of you are absent. And for that, let us all give ourselves a clap. Okay, at this moment, I want you to know first our rules during our class discussion. So, we have here the rule of the eye, rule of the ear, rule of the hand, rule of the mouth, and rule of the heart. So, first rule is you have to observe and keep silent while the class is ongoing. Next, we have you must raise your hand if you have an answer in order for you to be recognized. Next, speak when you are asked or if it is necessary. So you are allowed to speak and if it is necessary or if you have an answer to my question. So next, listen carefully and comprehensively in order for you to catch up our lesson for today. And the last is, you need to show respect by not interrupting someone who is talking or discussing in front. So that is the way we can show our love to others, especially to our teachers, by respecting their discussion. Okay. So, this morning class, we will have an activity in order for you to be stabilized and for me to assess each of you. So, are you familiar with the game head, shoulder, knees, and hand? Okay, so here is how to play. Okay, so you need to look for a pair. So, this game will be played by pair. And then you will be preparing a pen, and then you will have to put the pen at the center of the two players. So equidistant to the two players. So if you hear the word pen, all the two players will grab the pen, and then if who grabs the pen first will be the winner. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, let us have now our drill. Okay, so thank you for your participation. So I hope that you are now activated. So this moment we will have another activity. Okay, so as you can see, I am holding here a dice. And then I will be playing a music, and you will be passing the dice to the person sitting next to you. And then the student holding the dice as the music stops will answer the statement that I will be providing later on. So you will just answer whether the statement is a fact or a bluff. Okay, so let us now begin the activity. Okay, so thank you again for your participation. So this morning class, we will have another lesson to be discussed. And before we dive into our proper discussion, let me present to you first our objectives. Okay, so these are our objectives for today's lesson. So first, you will be first is identify the life-giving systems in the human body, appreciate the importance of each life-giving systems to function well in the living system, and the last is create an illustration in one of the systems in the human body. Okay, so these are our objectives for today's lesson. Okay, so from the activity that we had earlier, so class, do you have any idea as to what will be our lesson for this morning? Okay, so very good. Our lesson for this morning will be all about the life-giving systems in the human body, which are the reproductive system, the human nervous system, and the human endocrine system. So now let us first discuss. So we have there the nervous system, reproductive system, and the endocrine system. Okay, so we will discuss first the reproductive system. Okay, so kindly read everyone. Okay, so the reproductive system is responsible for the process of reproduction. So from the word itself, reproductive. So or the creation of offspring of the same species. So it is somewhat like a duplication of the same species. So males and females have different reproductive organs, since male and female are two different individuals. But their main functions are the same, which is, of course, to produce an offspring. Okay, so we will discuss now the main function of the male reproductive system. So the main function of the male reproductive system is the production of sperm. So as you can see, we have here the illustration of the male reproductive system. We have there the parts of it: the vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, penis, urethra, urinary bladder, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, epididymis, testis, and the scrotum. Okay, so later on we will be discussing the functions of each of its parts. Okay, now the parts of the human male reproductive system and their functions. So we have here the major reproductive parts of the male reproductive system. We have here the first one, the penis. So it is a hollow tube that also contains the urethra. So as you can see in the demonstration, there is the penis, and this is the urethra. Okay, so the penis is somewhat the hollow one that is covering the urethra. Okay, next, the testis. So in singular form, it is testis. So its function is, it is responsible for the production of semen, which contains the sperm, the main reproductive organ of the males. So this is the testis. So it is being covered by the scrotum. Next part, we have the epididymis. So it is a comma-shaped part of the male reproductive system. So it stores the sperm and serves as the site for sperm cell maturation. Okay, so if the testis, that is responsible for the reproduction of the semen for the males, on the other hand, the epididymis, it is where the sperm cell gets its maturation. Next, we have the scrotum. So it is a bag or pouch-like part that holds the testis. So as you can see in the illustration, it is the scrotum is covering the testis. It is covering up the testis. Now we have the urethra. So the passageway of both urine and semen. So the urethra, it is where the urine passes through. Here, the illustration. This is the urethra. It looks like a tube, and it is being covered by the hollow one, which is the penis. And next, we have the vas deferens, also known as ductus deferens. So, a long transport tube that carries the sperm from the epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. Vas deferens, this one. Okay, so that is the vas deferens. Again, its function is, it is a transport tube that carries the sperm from the epididymis to the ejaculatory duct. Next is the ejaculatory duct. So formed by the vas deferens and the seminal vesicle, carries the sperm to the urethra. Okay, so the role of the ejaculatory duct in the male reproductive system is to carry the sperm to the urethra. Here, again in the illustration, carry the sperm to the urethra, which is the passageway. Okay, so let us now go to the female reproductive system. So can you read everyone? Okay, thank you. The female reproductive system secretes the female reproductive system secretes hormones that help the female to develop. So it also produces the egg cell, which is needed in fertilization. Okay, so as you can see in the illustration, we have here the uterus, the fallopian tube, ovary, cervix, and the vagina. Okay, so that is the illustration of the female reproductive system. Okay, so again, what is the primary function of the female reproductive system? Okay, very good. That is to produce the egg cell, which is needed in the fertilization. Now let us discuss the parts of the female reproductive system and their functions. We have here the first one, the ovary. Okay, so its function is it produces the egg cell, the main reproductive organ of the female reproductive system. Okay, so ovary, that is the main reproductive organ of the female reproductive system. So its role is to produce the egg cell. This is the ovary. So it produces the egg cell. Next, the fallopian tube serves as the passageway of the egg. Connects the ovaries to the uterus. So also it is the site of fertilization. Okay, so the fallopian tube, it is where the fertilization of the sperm cell and the egg cell happens. And then after the fertilization of the egg and the sperm cell, the zygote will go to the uterus, where it will get its maturity. Okay, next, the uterus, also known as the womb. Okay, so the uterus, that is the womb of the female. So that is the part where the zygote grows and develops. So as what I said earlier, here in the uterus, it is where the zygote lives. So the zygote, it develops into a fetus and then a baby. Next is the cervix. Okay, so this is the part that separates the uterus from the vagina. So the cervix stays closed until the female gives birth. Okay, so the cervix will only open if the female is about to give birth, or um, so go out already from the uterus or the womb. Okay, so this is the cervix. So it separates the ovary and the vagina. I'll look into the vagina. Okay, so now next is we have the vagina as one of the parts of the female reproductive system. So it is a hollow tube that serves as the passageway out of the female reproductive system. So again, the vagina serves as the passageway out of the female reproductive system. Here, as you can see, it serves as the passageway. Now, let us discuss the human nervous system. Okay, can you read everyone? Okay, thank you. So, the human nervous system connects all your body parts by transmitting signals from one part of your body to another. That is why you can react and respond to different situations. So, if you can observe, if you accidentally touch a hot thing, of course, your body will have an equal reaction and response to that particular situation. Whether you're going to get out of that hot thing or whatsoever. Okay, so let us discuss the nervous system. So it is now divided into central nervous system, the CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, the PNS. So let us now discuss first the CNS, the central nervous system. Okay, as what it says, it serves as the processing area of the nervous system. Okay, so as you can see, this is the central nervous system. We have its part, the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. So it is composed of the brain and the spinal cord. So the brain is the part of the nervous system that processes and interprets the signals transmitted to it. Okay, so the brain, the main part of the nervous system is the brain because it is the one that processes and interprets the signals. Okay, so do you get me? So the spinal cord serves as the connection from the brain to the rest of the body. Now let us have the PNS. So PNS is divided into the somatic. So PNS is divided into the somatic and the autonomic nervous system. Okay, so again, the PNS is divided into the somatic and the autonomic nervous systems. Okay, so if the nervous system is divided into two, which is the central and the peripheral, wherein here, the peripheral nervous system is also divided into two. And those are the somatic and the autonomic nervous system. So let us first discuss the somatic nervous system, that is in S. So it includes the motor nerves that connect to the skeletal muscles that function voluntarily. Okay, so the somatic nervous system, this one is responsible for the voluntary movements in our body. It's just for example, blinking and breathing. Okay, so now we have SNS. So this contains the spinal nerves which connect the central nervous system to other parts such as the sensory receptor, the muscles, and the body glands, and the cranial nerves, which are responsible for many functions such as smell, sight, chewing, taste, hearing, and even the movement of the tongue, the upper eyelids, and the eyeballs, the head, and the shoulders. Okay, so the cranial nerves are functions whenever the body is at rest and recovery. So during this period, the body conserves and restores energy. So here we have the illustration of the brain. Okay, so the brain can be divided into based on its hemispheres. So the brain has two hemispheres. We have the left and the right. Okay, so now we will discuss its functions. Okay, so let us have first the left hemisphere. Okay, so kindly read everyone. Okay, so thank you. So the left hemisphere controls the left side of the body. So it controls different skills such as speaking, writing, numerical and scientific skills, as well as sign language and reasoning. Okay, so if you think you are really good in speaking, in writing, and numerical or scientific skills, you are a left brainer. Okay, so that is the left hemisphere. So next, we have here the right hemisphere. So it controls the right side of the body. We have here the right side of our body related to spatial intelligence, pattern and face recognition, as well as musical ability. Okay, so if you are really good in music, then you are a right brainer person. Okay, so again, let me show to you the parts of the brain. We have the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brain stem. Okay, so in the brain, we also have this, what we call lobes. Okay, so we have the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and the temporal lobe. Okay, so the frontal lobe, this one controls some voluntary motor functions, different moods, and sense of smell. Okay, so frontal. So front, the word itself, frontal. So next, parietal lobe. So this one controls most of the senses such as the touch and taste. Also responsible for controlling pain, body temperature, and balance. So next, occipital lobe. So this one, this lobe controls our sense of sight. Next, we have the temporal lobe. So this one controls the sense of smell and hearing. Also, it has a role in memory. That is the temporal lobe. Okay, so much for the lobes. Let us now discuss the different parts of the brain and their functions. Okay, so as what I have shown to you earlier, the illustration of the brain, we have there the cerebrum, the cerebellum, and the brain stem. Okay, so let us now have the major parts of the brain and their functions. Okay, first one, we have the cerebrum. So this one is the largest part of the brain. Controls your ability to read and speak. Also related to your mathematical and physical skills. Also deals with your memory. Okay, so the cerebrum part of the brain, that controls, again, your ability to read, write, speak, and about your mathematical and musical skills. So next, we have there the cerebellum. So it helps in the smooth coordination of skeletal muscle contractions. Also regulates body posture and balance. Okay, so that is the function of the cerebellum. So next, we have there the last one, the brain stem. So let me show it to you again. This one, the lower part, that is the brain stem. Okay, so its function is that it connects the brain to, it connects the brain and the spinal cord. So that is the function of the brain stem. So the brain stem, it is also consists of 3 regions. So and these 3 regions are the medulla oblongata, the midbrain, and the pons. Okay, so the medulla oblongata, that is associated with heartbeat breathing, sensations, and reflex control. Okay, so that is the role of the medulla oblongata. So that is one of the regions of the brain stem. Next, we have the midbrain. Okay, so the midbrain, it has several functions that include the coordination of muscular movements and reflexes that direct the movement. That direct the movement of the eye, head, and neck every time you need to look at around the things around us. Also, the midbrain is responsible for your startle reflex, which happens whenever you are surprised due to loud or noisy sound. Okay, so that is the role of the midbrain. The last one, we have the pons. So the pons, it connects the parts of the brain and also helps control our breathing. Okay, so that is the last region of the brain stem, the pons. And now for the last part, let us now discuss the human endocrine system. Okay, so kindly read the given definition, everyone. Okay, so thank you. So the human endocrine system, through the different glands, it secretes hormones that control the growth and development of the body. Okay, so in simpler words, the human endocrine system, it is responsible for the growth and development of our body because the human endocrine system, it secretes the hormones which is responsible for our growth, our mood, and the likes. Okay, so if you're going to elaborate more about the human endocrine system, it is like a messaging system in our body. So it is made up of glands that produce hormones, which are likely timely messengers that travel through our bloodstream to tell different parts of our body what to do. Okay, so do you get me? And also, those hormones that were translated in the different parts of our body, it helps regulate things like growth, metabolism, mood, and more. So basically, it helps our body communicate and stay balanced. The human endocrine system, it helps our body communicate and stay balanced. Okay, so am I understood? Okay, so very good. So now let's discuss what is hormone. Okay, so hormones travel throughout the body through the bloodstream. Okay, so hormones, it is being transmitted throughout the parts of our body through the bloodstream, and they are directed toward a specific part of the body, which is called the target organ of the hormone. So it also regulates some reproductive functions. So that is hormones. It also regulates some reproductive functions. So here are the different glands within the endocrine system, which includes the hormones secreted under the effects of the body. Okay, so I was not able to include those hormones, the hormones in my presentation. So now let us discuss the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is the gland that is also located in the brain. So it controls the function. Again, the hypothalamus, it is also located in the brain. It is not just the cerebrum, cerebellum, and the brainstem. And also this what we call hypothalamus. So it controls the function of the pituitary gland. So the hormones secreted by the hypothalamus affect the release of some hormones released by the pituitary gland. Okay, so much for that. So is the human endocrine system. So did I elaborate well the endocrine system? Okay, so very good, and I'm glad that you have understood our lesson. Let us now proceed to our activity for this morning. Okay, so I will be grouping you into 3 groups. the group 2 here, and the group 2 will be here. Okay, so all you have to do is you will be making an illustration out of one of those life-giving systems in the human body, which are the reproductive system, the human nervous system, and the human endocrine system. Okay, so you will just choose one of the system, and which you will be making illustration. Okay, so I will be giving you 10 minutes for your activity. Okay, so can you submit your papers? Okay, so I have now your activity. So this will be recorded. Now for this this moment, let us have our assessment of your learning for today's lesson. So I wanted to get 1/4 sheet of paper and then answer the following questions. Okay, so the direction is just you will be writing RS if the statement points out the description or function of the reproductive system. NS if it points out the nervous system, and HES if it points out the description or function of the human endocrine system. Okay, so I will be giving you 5 minutes for the activity. Okay, so I guess that will be all for this morning. I hope you learned something about our lesson for today. Okay, so goodbye everyone. Okay, so goodbye.